of chapter number 4, standard 7. Here we are studying science subject and the name of the chapter is heat. If you remember in the last lecture, we studied about the laboratory thermometer and we have also seen the clinical thermometer. We have studied the difference between the clinical and laboratory thermometer. Let's recall. Clinical thermometer is generally used to measure the temperature of human body. It is generally used by the doctors, while laboratory thermometer is generally used when we are doing certain experiments. It is used to measure the temperature of certain substances, say for liquids, right? Then we studied that the unit to measure the temperature is degree Celsius. Okay, and the range of the clinical thermometer is 35 degrees Celsius to 42 degrees Celsius, while the laboratory thermometer have range from, yes, you are right, that is minus 10 degrees Celsius to 110 degrees Celsius. Then we studied about the precautions which we should take in consideration when we are using these thermometers. I told you that we must have to take care about the thermometer as it is made up of glass. Then before and after using the clinical thermometer, we must have to wash it with the antiseptic, right? Then I told you that whenever you are measuring the temperature of any substance, then you must have to keep the thermometer upright in that substance and then you have to see the temperature. You should not take it out. So this is all about the previous lecture. Now let's start today's lecture. Today we are going to study about the transfer of heat in various substances. As you all know, heat is transferred from one substance to another. How we know this? Because whenever we keep any utensil on the gas, okay, and if we put any spoon in that utensil, after some time if you touch that spoon, then it will become hot. How this happens? This happens because the transfer of heat. As heat is transferred from the burner to the utensil and from the utensil to the spoon. So this is the fact by which the heat is transferred in the utensil, right? So different substance will transfer the heat in different manner. So there are mainly three processes by which heat is transferred. That is conduction, convection and radiation. All these three processes transfers the heat from the one object to the another, or from the one part of the object to other part. Whenever you are touching any hot object, right, then what happens? You get hurt. But if that utensil is having a handle that is of wood or plastic, then you can easily take it from the gas or from the burner, right? Why? Because heat cannot transfer there. What is the reason behind this? Some objects becomes hot and other objects does not become hot. Why this is so? So let's start this topic, that is transfer of heat. As I told you, there are three main processes: conduction, convection and radiation. So let's first start with conduction. Conduction is nothing but the process of transfer of heat from the hotter part or hotter area of the object to the colder one, right? So it is the process by which heat is transferred from the hotter end to the colder end of an object, right? So this occurs generally in solids. Whenever we are talking about solids, that is utensil, then from the burner the heat is transferred to the utensil, okay, or we can say the end of the utensil, and then it comes on the top of the utensil, right? So this is because of conduction. What actually happens in conduction? The molecules of solid, when one molecule of solid gets heat, it vibrates on its own position and it make the molecule which is near to it vibrates on its own position. So one by one all the molecules vibrate at its own position and they transfer heat from one molecule to other. So from one end of the solid the heat will transfer to the other end. That is, from the hotter area or hotter end, the heat will transfer to the colder end. Now, just think that you have kept a utensil on the gas. Now you are trying to touch it with your hand, but it is hot. So how it becomes hot? From the gas, the heat transfer to the utensil's end and then it transfer to the top of the utensil, that is the colder end. Now after 2 minutes you are keeping that utensil down from the gas. After 5 minutes if you try to touch that utensil then it is not hot. Why this happens? Because the heat which is there in that utensil will removed out into the surroundings. So again we can say that heat is transferred from the hotter part to the colder part, right? So this process is known as conduction. Conduction generally occurs in the solids, okay? For solids the transfer of heat is done by the process known as conduction. There are many conductors and insulators of heat, right? We know about the conductors and insulators. We have already studied in the previous classes. But let's revise. What do you mean by conductors? So conductors are nothing but the objects which allow the heat to pass from them. Say for example, all the metals are conductors of heat. That is iron, steel, aluminium, gold, silver, copper, etc. They will allow the heat to pass from one end to the other. While insulators are the objects which do not allow the heat to pass from them. That is plastic, glass, rubber, wood, etc. This is the reason why we have the utensils which is made up of metals and their handles which is made up of either plastic or wood, right? So this is about the conduction. Now let's study conduction with help of an experiment. Take a rod or flat strip of a metal, fix few small wax pieces on the rod. These pieces must be at equal distance. Keep the rod in between the two bricks as you are making a stand on it. Now heat the other end of the rod and observe. What happens to the wax piece? Do these begin to fall? Which piece falls the first? Of course, the piece which is near to the candle will fall first. So, we can say that the heat is transferred from the hotter end of the rod to the colder end. This is done by the process conduction. Conduction is the process of transfer of heat in solids. Now what about air and water? We know that air and water are poor conductors. Means we can say that they are insulators. So how does the heat transfer in liquids? For that, let's see the second process, which is known as convection. So this is the process by which heat is transferred in a liquid. So when we boil any liquid, the water gets hot. The water which is near to the source of the heat will get hot first. Hot water rises up, as we all know, right? So in that place, the cold water from the surroundings come and now they becomes hot. Again that hot water rises up. It happens till the all molecules of the water gets hot, right? So this is done in the method of convection. During the day, the land gets heated faster than the water. The air over the land becomes hot and rises up, as you can see in the picture. The cooler air from the sea rushes in towards the land to take its place. As we know that the water gets heated slower. So the air which is there on the water molecules are cooler compared to the air which is there on the surface of the land, right? So as the cool air from the sea moves towards the land, this is known as sea breeze. During the night, exactly reverse will happen. The water cools down more slowly than the land. So the cool air from the land moves towards the sea. As the air molecules on the sea are hotter, they go up, and in the place of them the cool air rushes from the land, and this is known as land breeze. So this is what which happens naturally in the coastal areas, right? So conduction and convection are the process of heat transfers in solids and liquids respectively. In the next lecture, we will discuss about the third process of heat transfer, that is radiation, right? Till that, be at home, be safe. Thank you.
आभार।